How's it going out there tonight?
Well, you stumped me now.
Check out our website, MannimalResearch.com. Thanks to everybody. Hello. How's it going out there tonight? Hope everyone is doing well. Those of you that going to catch it live with us tonight, those of you that will watch it later, we sure do appreciate your support. Thank you very much. As you can see, guys, I'm by myself. That should not be for much longer. Our boy Walls will be joining us. He had to take care of the wifey. She's feeling a little under the weather, so he's getting her situated and feeling okay, and then he'll be hopping on with us here in just a minute. So I'll get all of our intro stuff out of the way before he comes on. Again, I hope everybody is doing well out there. Everybody is staying safe, and seems like the coronavirus is rearing its ugly head again, and might be getting pretty bad again. So hope everybody is taking the necessary precautions and watching out for one another. That's my public service announcement for the night, so we won't get any more. Hit that subscribe button if you have not done so already, guys. Sure would appreciate it if you would do that for us. Yeah, hit the subscribe button. If you are on Facebook, and just about everybody in the free world is, head over to Mannimal Research on Facebook and join our group there. Ask that you please do so. Tonight on the program, we have a pretty interesting guy coming on tonight. And if you guys have any questions that you would like to throw his way, guys, feel free to do so. He's an author. You know, he's really into Bigfoot, and he's written some paranormal books as well. He's got one coming out. He's written 3 books, and he's got his 4th one ready to be released here in a couple weeks. So he'll be talking about that as well. So we're not just talking about Bigfoot tonight. We're gonna mix in a little paranormal as well. So like I was saying, you got any questions, feel free to ask them. Just if you do so, put them in all caps for us, if you don't mind. Just it makes it easier for us to find them, and we do our best to get to all the questions. If we miss you, I apologize. We'll do everything we can. That's one of the things that Walls is really good at, and like his primary focus for these shows, these live shows, is watching the comments and making sure I see them. And he'll text me or send a private message or something, letting me know, give me a time and the person's name, and I can go back to that time and read the question that way. So a lot of times it looks like Walls ain't doing anything. He's staying busy. So yeah, guys, put those questions in all caps for us if you don't mind. Mannimal Encounters at Yahoo. Send us your encounters, guys. We would appreciate that. I know every week I say we're getting ready to start doing them again, but with my work schedule and with the new baby and everything, it's been difficult to do it. But things are settling down, so we should be able to start getting some more installments of Mannimal Encounters. But we need you to send them in, guys. It's for people that don't want to come on a show like this and dedicate an hour and 20 minutes of your life to a live show. If you'd rather just get your story out there, you can just submit it to me in email form, and I'll read it. And Walls might read some, and we got some other people that might read them too. But the important thing is getting them to us, and let's share them with everybody so that we can continue to learn from these things. It looks like I got a familiar face here that might be ready. What's up, buddy?
Hey, man. You don't know
How's Mama feeling?
Not too damn well. I don't know what's up with her.
She got the Rona?
No, I'd be in the hospital if that was true.
You ain't no doctor. You don't know. We don't know what she's got.
She ain't got corona.
Is she pregnant, man? Is she pregnant?
No. The good Lord
don't get too personal. You ain't gotta get too personal.
The good Lord would have to do a lot of magic going on there.
Well, he works in mysterious ways.
Yeah, he hasn't done it yet. So,
what's been up with you, buddy? What's going on?
Oh, just work. I guess I got to be short day today because I got to get up at 3:00 in the morning, head down to Atlanta.
Do you need to get it done tonight and get in bed, huh?
Yeah, because I got to get up early. Gotta get down there at Costco.
Bigfoot's more important, man. You gotta line your priorities up.
He don't pay the bills neither.
You ain't asked him to.
Well, I mean, I need to see him first.
put in a little more effort in finding him, and them bills might get paid, buddy.
Really?
Yeah.
How many expeditions you been on lately?
I have a child.
A
brand new child.
Hang on.
I was busy bringing into the world.
Come here.
Hey, stop.
Look. See, there's a child too. I got that one, another one. Yeah, and then my wife's a child too. So that then I have to treat your child.
Stop talking. Set the next couple plays out, buddy. We got a pretty big camp out coming up.
Yeah, and I want to address something now. I know a lot of people will think this. I know because of the way things are going now, crazy. You have no problem if you guys want to still come and you want to wear a mask. That's fine. That's your choice, your body. It's all towards you. Not gonna. Yeah, there she is in the sick back there. So I just want to put that out there so nobody freaks out and everything like that.
Yeah, we haven't really addressed that about the masks and everything. I think it's a good idea. If you want to wear one, wear it. If not, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we should implement any kind of rules.
I will stand against it. I'm not going to implement nothing like that. If people feel safe wearing one, fine. That's your choice.
I think we'll go by the local regulations, and around here we don't have to. You don't have to wear them in public. So, and especially outdoors, we're going to be outdoors, man.
I know.
So,
I just wanted to address it because some people might have a different fear. They have a fear of this. I don't want them to be coming there. Well, I don't know if I can go or now. And no, come on, we're gonna have a good time.
If you're worried, wear a mask.
Exactly.
That's all there's to it. You're protecting yourself.
That's it. Simple as that.
Yeah. So we hadn't even addressed that, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Our guest tonight is going to be at the camp out, so we'll talk to him a little bit about that here in just a minute. Here, and throw that picture up there, reminding everybody it's September 4th and 5th. Mannimal Research, Old Bear, and the Squatching Cowboy. And there's another one. And wait, how'd that get in there? Just a little angel, that's all. All right. So I think me or John and I are going to get out up at the campground this weekend. I think we're going to head up there Saturday. But you're going to be out of town, ain't you?
Yeah, I'll be going through there to North Carolina. I got to go to North Carolina. I got to show up in North Carolina once a month.
What time are you going to be going through there?
Probably about close to 12:31, maybe later than that. It depends on what time. I gotta get back with the promoter and find out what time we're starting tomorrow or Saturday.
I think we're gonna get up. We're gonna be up there about noontime, and just do a day trip. We had talked about camping, spend the night up there, but I think we're just gonna go up there for the day, do some scouting, check out the campground again.
Right.
Um, yeah, check out the campground again and get up into up on the mountain and see if we can't map out some good areas to let people know if they want to go up and do an expedition, to kind of point them in the right directions, like good safe places to go and do your calls, wood knocks, whatever you want to do. That'd just be up to them. What are you looking at so intently?
um, I'm checking all the comments, make sure I ain't missing anything.
All right, man. Anything else going on? Anything you want to talk about, cover before we bring on tonight's guest?
Not top of my head, man.
All right. Sorry about that, guys. Just had to send that message real quick. Who we got with us before we bring them up? We got Randy Mahoney, Gypsy Road. What's up, buddy? Dude from Texas. Flat Rock Booger was joining us yet again. Got a couple of Facebook guys that are usually here. So yeah, we got there's Miss Sandra Piper. How you doing, ma'am? Flat Rock Booger. We got a bunch of regulars, and tonight is another one of our regulars. You guys might know him as Bigfoot Anon, Bigfoot Anonymous, but his name's Connor, and he's gonna come on, hang out with us for about an hour. So if you're ready, we'll just go ahead and bring him on.
Yeah, man, that'll work.
Connor, what's up, buddy?
What's up, fellas? How's it going?
Doing well, man.
Oh man,
his face is reminding me of an actor. I'm trying to think of the movie right now. It's like, oh my god,
is it Jay and Silent Bob or Wayne's World?
Take your glasses off. Yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah, it's probably Jay and then Garth from Wayne's World. But
yeah.
You might have seen me in the movies, though. I was in the movie Zillafoot. It was on the Sci-Fi channels and all that, But
really,
yeah, they only show it probably after midnight because it's so bad it's good. But yeah, I got a copy right here. It's on Blu-ray. Zillafoot. I'll bring this and maybe we could hook a projector up to Old Bear's Den's trailer. We could watch it all after the campfire. But yeah, it's a funny movie, and I linked up with this guy named Jack McClellan. That he's a filmmaker. He's made a couple Bigfoot documentaries. He comes up to my comic book shop a lot, and we just linked up ever since then. And he needed a real cryptid researcher, so I really just played myself. He wrote 2 lines. I improv the rest, and the rest is history.
Wow, very cool. So you just said yourself you're a cryptid researcher. Now, is that more than one cryptid, or do you focus mainly on Bigfoot?
Oh yeah, multiple cryptids. I grew up on Lake Erie, so the Lake Erie monster, South Bay Bessie, was always close to my heart. The Loveland frogmen up in Ohio, and then the Mothman, of course, on the Ohio River. Grew up fishing there. And then I moved down to Florida, so I got the skunk ape, the Pensacola serpent, and then Cheesy Pond Wildman, the Bigfoot that got captured in the 1800s, literally within 10 miles of my house. So I'm in prime territory for cryptids, creatures, strange anomalies, aliens in the sky, deities that can interdimensional change, and then things that are inside ourselves. We're made out of crystal. We leak DMT in our brain when we sleep. So we're already made out of magic. That's why supernatural and the woo is just not really in my lane. Everything is clairvoyant. Particles can become waveform and particle form. And we're mostly particle form because we're solid. But in those true moments, you can become waveform. So, of course, these beings, these elves, fairies, Sasquatch, just these tribes leaders can tap into those frequencies. And, of course, humans could, too, if we weren't so poisoned and distracted most of our time.
Yeah, That's really interesting. Well, you gave us a lot right there to think about. Well, one of the things that you brought up was something that I've heard just a little bit about, and I'd like to know more about, and maybe you could help us. Was the one that was supposedly captured down in Florida? That was, when did that happen, and what was the story behind that one? If you could go over that real quick.
Yes, it happened in the late 1800s, and it still has tons of activity to this day. I go kayaking out there and talk to a bunch of people that live on the pond. It's a 9-mile wide piece of water, and there's the Devil's Half Acre and a bunch of islands, and they say there's tombs of mummified Native Americans, and I think some of those are probably Sasquatch and wild people. But yeah, in the 1800s, a giant wild man was harassing women and children. So then Native American gatherers and Civil War veterans teamed together, captured this creature, and sent it to the Capitol. The governor said, no way. Sent it to the Chattahoochee Hospital. And the Chattahoochee Hospital is pretty famous for like experiments and stuff. There was a movie about it called Chattahoochee with Gary Oldman in it. And so just think what they were doing to the Sasquatch. But it lived there for 3 years, and then after that, I don't know what they put it through, but after 3 years it died, and they buried it right next to all the Native Americans from Andrew Jackson's prison camp. So there's thousands of skeletons over there, and the rumor is they built a big building on top of it. But they've also found other giant skeletons in that same pond. And one kid actually got abducted by a Sasquatch over there, but it's the Ocheesee Pond. And then the landing is right across from Torreya State Park, where Stacy Brown and his father captured that 9-foot tall creature on thermal footage. And then right down the river from that is the Garden of Eden, the trail that has 27 of the 28 trees in the Bible. It also has gopher wood, which Noah used to build the ark, the lightest and strongest wood in the world. The only place it grows is right there. It's longleaf Torreya. And it's pretty remarkable because there's a delta that breaks into 4 rivers, just like the good book says. I'm not saying that's the only Eden and the only Atlantis, but there are many adaptations across the world, and you have to pull energy from all of them. And I'm just really tapping into all the frequencies that kind of been swept under the rug, and all of it connects. So that's why, yeah, it's Bigfoot Anonymous, but it's paranormal, it's history, it's exploration, it's fishing, it's kayaking, it's interviewing people, it's getting interviewed, chopping up multiple different vibrations, and that's what it's about.
Yeah, man, wow, that's awesome. I had no idea that all of that stuff had taken place down in Florida, man. That's amazing, especially the Garden of Eden stuff. That's really cool. But
Yeah,
this is called Cheesy Pond. Cheesy Pond, is
yep,
that what you
the
said?
Ocheesee Pond. Yeah, the Ocheesee Pond. And it's right here in the panhandle of Florida, right off the Apalachicola River. And the Chipola River is filled with activity. And that's where I go kayaking and looking for arrowheads and native pottery. And I'm a big fan of Native American mounds. They have the Kulamoki Mounds up in Georgia, the Chattahoochee Mounds over on the river, and all of them align with the moon, the sun, and just each other on the ground. The earth is one big grid, and there's pyramids in America that no one wants to talk about. I keep saying it, but this land had kings and queens. So I don't care about presidents. I don't care about we have a great governor down in this state, but I don't care about no politicians.
Wow, yeah, man, I feel you. The one that was captured down there and kept in the hospital, is there anything to document this? Are there any pictures? Can we go online and find information out?
There's a bunch of documentaries about it, and it was on the front page of the New York Times. I'm sure they have pictures. Of course, they have the DNA. They named him John Doe. They have everything. I've done a lot of research into it. Of course, the government has these creatures and is breeding these creatures to find the other creatures that are free. It's the same thing that they do to humans, that they do to land, that they do to other countries. It's all the same process. But yeah, it was on the New York Times front page, but we haven't seen it on Expedition Bigfoot or Finding Bigfoot. I wonder why. I think because it's so concrete that it would just stump everybody's kind of agenda. All of them are trying to say it's a monkey and it was a man, and they're human hybrids. Everybody should look up Zana, the ape lady from Russia. She had children with men. And there's tons of stories of them reproducing on both sides. You know, the humans taking the Sasquatch, and then the Sasquatch taking the humans, just to expand their family tree. And then you look into the Dennis Martin case and all the feral people in the Smoky Mountains, and South Force 10's channel talking about his family gets paid to hunt these creatures down. We're going to be right at the foothills of those mountains. I know we're not going to be in the Smokies, but guess what? The Tennessee Titans still lurk. They don't give a dang about, you know, state lines. They just follow the ley lines and the sun and the moon.
Yeah, it's interesting that you brought up Dennis Martin, and that story there has both fascinated and kind of bothered me a lot, and that happened right here in Tennessee, and we've talked about it a couple times on this show, and it's really fascinating stuff. So, what got you started in this? You don't look like a very old guy. How old are you?
I'm 28, but
28.
But time.
Okay, what got you started?
What got me started? Oh man, just growing up in Ohio, you heard about the Ohio Grassman every time you went to the Cuyahoga National Valley Park, and then go into Helltown, and there was a witch's ball right around the corner from my house. So even just growing up, like on football teams during October, we'd go to real haunted houses and then go to the acting haunted houses. So we just had the verge of just always finding that strange stuff. When we were building campfires, we were always telling strange stories. And my grandfather, you know, is a hunter. My dad is a fireman. And then my mom grew up on a farm too. So all of them have some strange stories. And then I love horror movies and just talking to people. I don't like drawing boundaries, you know. Some people are scared to say they're paranormal researchers or Bigfoot hunters, you know. When I talk to the forest rangers and tell them I'm looking for cryptids, I usually end up giving them a copy of my book. The only thing I'm nervous about is them reading too much and knowing what I'm thinking, you know. They'll meet me at my next stop. But man, I try not to hide anything. It's all me. I wear this stuff on my sleeve every single day. I'm trying to research and expand my knowledge of this strange stuff. And the past few years show everybody that now it's came to our front doorstep. And, you know, check my Twitter feed for the last 7 years. This stuff has been predicted.
Now, you just talked about something interesting, something that we've kind of had a problem with. What reaction do you tend to get when you talk to park rangers or other government officials? Because I can tell you what happened to us when old boy Jasper there opened his mouth to the U.S. Army. What happened to us that night? It was crazy. But what happens when you talk to these state workers?
I think first and foremost, I think Gypsy Road told me about that they actually like camped right next to you guys the whole night. Yeah, that's pretty wild. Yeah. I've had mixed, you know, emotions and interactions with these people. One Georgia police officer, he did an interview with me and told me how him and his partner saw a goat man, and then that ended up getting articles written about it. And then I've had, you know, local police here tell me that they would arrest the person that called on the Bigfoot, and I have other locals saying that they've responded to calls around here. But I'm a guy with long hair and I umpire baseball, so I make people feel comfortable where I'm at, you know. So I already put people in a different position of reality and static when everybody has to feel defensive and vulnerable. I let people know that, you know, the fantasy is real. We live in a comic book world, like we always say, Dr. Wu says.
Now, you said you talked to some policemen that said they would arrest someone that called on a Bigfoot. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, just saying they would be on drugs and, you know, falsifying, you know, just BS. Gotcha. It was pretty much a defense mechanism by that guy. He just didn't want to talk about it, so he just said, "Oh, I'll just we'll arrest him," you know. And yeah, that guy's a cool guy, and he every time, man, I told him I got the books coming out, bro. I was on the news, bro. I went to the conference, bro. I was on the front page of the paper. So now he has no defense, you know. I don't care if it's sad if people don't believe. Come down to Florida, 97% of the people know the skunk ape exists. You know, we got Florida Man down here, and all of our livings show how we're doing it, man. We've been free these past few years, and we're outside living, and the news can portray whatever they want, but I still haven't seen nothing.
Your energy is amazing. It really is, man. Yeah, I wish I had your energy. I do.
I'm even dehydrated, man. I did a crazy voyage today. I got a new GoPro thanks to a lot of kind people through Donnie Miller and Standing Goats Rescue. They helped me fund some new equipment, and I tested some of it out. And I went to a bunch of haunted locations in Chipley, Florida. I went to Molly's Tower, the Washington News, and this one chiropractor's office. And the chiropractor's office is now a buffet. And I was filming around, and I spooked these 3 people, and man, they were not ready for, oh, I'm a paranormal researcher. They wanted to tell me everything after that. But it was a legendary day, and I couldn't ask for better alignment for the night. And I did a podcast earlier too with Gypsy Road on Horror Talk. We talked about the Fear Street trilogy. So I stay busy, you got it.
I really like the guys over there at Gypsy Road. We've been on a couple of times, and they're on right now. He's on right now. He's a really good guy. We had fun when we did that show. But like you said earlier, when you talk to like a government official, and then they would tell you had the one tell you about the goat man or whatever. Walls and I, the first time we ever went up to this place in North Georgia, it was the place where we got a thermal hit. We have thermal images of a couple of them. We also had something that very night, the first night we were there, come and took something off of our table, and we had a voice recorder on the table, and it actually picked up the sounds of the footsteps walking, picking up a bag of chips, dropping a little one, and the little one scurrying off. Obviously, we didn't see this. This is what's going on in our head, but that's what it sounds like. But I say all of that to say that when we first got there, we stopped at the guard shack, and I kind of went in, made sure it was cool to go up there, kind of introduce myself. And he was a young guy, probably in his mid-20s, and I talked to him for about 10 minutes, and toward the end of the conversation, I finally said, well, this guy's cool, so I'll tell him what we're doing. And told him what we were doing, asked if he had heard any signs or heard of anyone seeing any Bigfoot activity up there, and he said no. But we have had reports of gnomes. I thought he was messing with me. I said, gnomes? You mean like little people? No. He said, no, I'm not messing with you at all. And his face was just as straight as it could be. I mean, he was calm. He wasn't laughing. He was, there were several accounts. And he said, actually, they were scheduled to do some work up there to remove some trees, to clear off some land. And someone called in and reported seeing gnomes in the area. And like 10 minutes later, all that construction, all that stuff stopped. They stopped it all.
Dude, that's crazy. I'm a big fan of little people. I've talked to a lot of people, and I've been chased in the woods by little things too. Gremlins, fairies, pixies, puckwudgies, and just strange creatures of the night that don't really have even a shape to their body. It's just a pair of eyes in the dark. But yeah, that sounds wild. And we're going to be right at the North Georgia border. So we're right in that prime territory. Two guys that are coming with me, Hidden Relief Tristan and Hidden Relief Cameron. I actually interviewed them because their family has had multiple encounters with these elf-like creatures. And Tristan actually has a house elf that dug a hole out under his bed, and then their nephew or young cousin Wyatt was chased by something with like 6 legs and 6 eyes, and it's all on audio and everything, and it kind of blew up on TikTok a little bit. But I suggest everybody check it out, especially if people are going to go to the camp out, just so everybody knows everybody. And Tristan and Cameron were my road trip buddies down to the Florida Bigfoot Conference, and it was remarkable. We stopped at the Jeepers Creepers filming location, Edward Scissorhand filming location, and then we went on an expedition with a bunch of people, with Tim T, Marie DeMont, Mogollon Monster, a bunch of Central Florida people. And then I met, Cliff Brackman, and got to hear Bobo speak, and my boy Stacy Brown, finally got to meet him, and he invited me to join Outcast Paranormal with James Frost, and of course I accepted because I'm an outcast at last, and down here in Florida we have to stick together, and it's crazy that we have so many pioneers just on this flat state.
Yeah, Stacy Brown, I'm a fan of him. He's on my short list of people that I'd like to meet and like to get to come on the show at some point. I'm friends with him on Facebook, but I've never sent him a message, introduce myself or anything like that. I have a hard time doing that. I don't know why. I just don't like to bother people. But Stacy seems like a cool guy, and the FLIR footage that him and his dad got is just absolutely remarkable. I mean, it's probably the best FLIR footage out there, in my opinion. I mean, you see this thing take a step, and what else can it be? What else can it be? I mean, it's something on two legs. It's not a bear. It's walking. It's taking a stride. You can see long arms swaying. That I don't know. I'm kind of getting off on a tangent a little bit,
No, it's
but
a
yeah.
Bigfoot. It's a Bigfoot, and everybody should watch it. Stacy Brown footage, and no, honestly, it leads into something I need to say because I go to Torreya State Park quite often, and we've had strange encounters there. I've got it recorded on my GoPro, this big creature wading through a creek like below us, and you can hear the sound. And, audio professionals would be able to look at it the same way as yours dropping the little one and scurrying off. Like it paints a real picture, but of course, distractions. But yes, I have had strange encounters at Torreya State Park, and me and Stacy are actually supposed to camp out there overnight, and hopefully Donnie Miller's going to join us, and I'm really looking forward to it.
Wow. So you are actually going to get together with Stacy?
Yeah. We're good friends, man. We text a lot, and then we had it scheduled probably like 2 months ago. I umpired and got super dehydrated. His mom ended up getting in a car accident that day, so we just scrapped it. And then we met at the Florida Bigfoot Conference, and the next thing is definitely Torreya State Park. And he invited me down to his house too, because he lives over by Wakulla, where they filmed Creature from the Black Lagoon, and there's a mysterious volcano down there, and I'm all about the stuff that's being hidden. No one knows there's freaking volcanoes in Florida. There's actually one in Chipley where I was just at today, and then one down in Wakulla too. So I'm sure they align with the ley lines and the sun and the moon, and every 28 days with the constellations. It's all just written by the creator and the mound builders and the deities in the firmament. 100 million%.
Yeah, I didn't know that you and Stacy were actually friends, man. Put a little bug in his ear.
I'll text him right after this. I'll say, man, you got to be on Mannimal Research. And I was going to say, you guys both have matching beards.
Yeah,
I got a picture with him, and it was awesome. His booth was incredible. He actually had a skunk ape dressed up, and then he had a bunch of paraphernalia there, memorabilia there, and it was just incredible. Yeah, putting a face to the name. And I've seen Skunk Ape Lives, his awesome movie and documentary, and now it's free on YouTube. But yeah, here's a quick picture of it, of all of us. And that's me, him, Tristan, James Brost, and the Skunk Ape. And
awesome.
And that's our shirts. And here's us and Cliff too. Pretty cool.
Wow, yeah.
I love Stacy, and I consider him a peer and an equal, but I don't like drooling over these top-notch guys, because we're the guys, we're trying to get our word out. They got their word out. I love them and stuff, but 100%. And
I've said it before on this show, and I stole this from Cliff, actually, Cliff Brackman. I heard it from him, where he said the Bigfoot community is probably the only place where your idols can actually become your friends.
100%.
I think that's really cool, because I look up to a lot of these guys, and like Janice Carter. I don't know if you know who Janice is, but
I wanted to say I appreciate you guys interviewing MK Davis and Janice Carter. That's why you guys are pioneers. That, like, those two are important people that need to get their information out, and you guys gave them a platform. And that's why I want to join that club, So 100%. Thank you.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, and like Buddy Walls there, Walls really looked up to her too. And we got to go on an expedition with her. And it was like Wall said, meeting a celebrity in our little world, our little community. It was like meeting someone that you look up to. And then 20 minutes after, you're BSing, you're having a good time, and you're talking to them just like you've known them for years. And that's just how it should be, I think,
100%. We're looking for monsters, man, but we find friendships and we feel real vibes. And
I've made so many friends. I've made so many friends in the 2 years that I've been doing this. I mean, good friends too. Yeah, man, it's awesome. It's awesome.
I've been sending postcards to Janice's work, trying to get them to give her the weekend off so she can come camp.
Oh, really?
I'm not.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. Not sending postcards, but I'm sending vibes.
Yeah,
Please
yeah.
let Janice Carter be at the camp out, man.
Hey,
I want to meet her. I want to shake her hand, and the same hand that held hands with Fox. Like that. That's important, guys. If anybody is new that doesn't know Janice Carter, please check out her story, her family story. 50 years with Bigfoot, the Tennessee Titans, man. It's incredible.
Hey, Walls, have you heard from Janice?
Not in a while. She's seen my messages, but I guess work's got her pretty tight right now. She ain't answered back.
I posted a picture of Scarlett, my new daughter, today, and she liked it. She showed me she was on Facebook. I meant to reach out to her. I got busy, but we ain't giving up on her, man. I want her to be there. She was actually, this whole out that we're doing, this camp out, is based off of what happened last year on the expedition that she went with us on, because we had some crazy stuff happen that night. It's the only time we've ever got ran out. We actually left the campsite that we're going to be going to, and she was there, so she was a big part of, whether she knows it or not, she's playing a big part in this camp out. So I'm hoping that she can get the time off. I need to reach out to her and see if we can't nail down a definite yes or a no.
Yeah,
well, we need to get with Dave also.
I've talked to Dave. Dave's going to try to be there, and he's supposed to be trying to make it too. Do you know Ninja Dave?
No, I know Bigfoot Dave and Hiker Dave. So add in Ninja Dave. That is awesome.
Ninja Dave and Janice are really close. They're really good friends. They go out in the woods all the time. It's like a couple times a month. They're out in the woods together. Really good guy, really interesting guy. He's been on the show a couple of times too. He's got a lot of energy. He can't sit still. He's always going and finding some good stuff, to be honest.
Heck yeah.
But you sent me some pictures, and there's this one that really, really stood out to me, and I'm anxious to hear what is up with it.
Yes. I'm glad you picked this one first, because
it looks like there's something standing behind a tree.
Yes. And Tim T in Florida captured this footage about 3 weeks ago, right after the Bigfoot conference. We went on 2 expeditions, one nighttime one and one morning one. And we had some strange stuff happen. We recorded mimicked baby cries, owl hoots, and then man-like owl hoots. And then he wears a back camera, and this actually was captured. He thinks it's a juvenile Sasquatch. I could see the hair. I could see the gray skin, the sun beaming off of it, maybe a little armpit right there. Definitely something peeking on us. And then there was a couple other screenshots that he got of them moving and being in between trees. So I definitely think this is a Sasquatch or some other dogman type creature that was in the green swamp. And there have been hundreds of Sasquatch encounters reported probably in the last year or so there. So it is a plethora of anomalies and just strangeness. And if anybody wants to see the breakdown, it's 29 minutes long. It's an awesome little episode. Tim T in Florida. He's an awesome tracker. He opened his house up to us because Hurricane Elsa hit. We were supposed to camp out. I was going to camp at Publix, and then luckily he let us stay in his back room. He actually has found Sasquatch hair, casted a bunch of feet, gotten tons of crazy trail cam pictures, and just tons of other stuff. So literally going over there is like a mountain of evidence. So I got to see what it looks like under a microscope. Of course, it has that clear perspective to it that you can see green, black, gray, brown, and pretty much any color that would be behind it. And it's pretty crazy camouflage. And he finds it in barbed wire all the time. But we found 3 definite tracks. We found a huge palm tree that was shredded apart up to 20 feet high. A couple of weird tree bends and structures, could have been portals, could have been fairy circles. You really never know down here in Florida, because the Seminole Indians and all the other Indian tribes were down here for a reason. and then the Spanish came over. This was Spain for a while, and I know that doesn't have much to do with Bigfoot, but it's just this is sacred land, and this soil is a lot different than some other places. But America had kings and queens, guys. Like, we have so much here. There's tribes of people that live under the Grand Canyon. There's entrances to Middle Earth through Mammoth Cave. You know, California will probably be an island within 10 years. We all got to just prepare.
Wow. So, yeah, I'm still, I can't get over. So you saying that he got this picture from a backwards GoPro?
Yes, I don't think it's a GoPro, but it's a backwards cam. And yeah, it cuts really fast, and he breaks it down frame by frame. And there's actually multiple pictures of this being, and it's pretty wild. He thinks there were 8 of them at least that day with us. And there was also this one incident that this woman got attacked by an underground swarm of bees and hornets, and she actually had to be rushed out and almost sent to the hospital. She was stung over more than 30 times, and I was picking them out of her hair. It was crazy. But it was a wild time altogether, and the vibes were there. We make sure to go with energy. You know, you manifest it days before, the night before. You got to think this stuff through. And I like to do breathing exercises, you know, with my people. So, of course, I would like to do some meditation, or even just hums or deep breaths, or just collective thinking and stretches if any of us go out. And I'm definitely going to be doing as many expeditions as I can. I was deciding if we were going to go whitewater rafting during the day in the morning, or just go hiking. And I didn't know if other people were planning hiking, and I'll definitely do, you know, the expeditions. But right next to us is one of the best whitewater rafting places in the East.
Yeah, now, something that a lot of people might not know, and I don't know if you're familiar with this or not, but you brought up the rafting. And if you're into kayaking, man, I recommend that you give it a shot, because sure, everyone that's old enough to remember the 96 Olympics were held in Atlanta. And, you know, around Atlanta, there's not a lot of whitewater, you know, to get out and do your kayaking and your canoeing and events, stuff like that. So those events were held at the Akoi, where we're going. Now, if you pass our campground and go, how far would you say it is, Walls? Where you go past the Olympic centers right there, and they have national flags of every country that competed in the Olympics in '96. It's
not far.
Yeah, it's like 5-10 minutes up the road.
Yeah.
They had the Olympic Center. The Olympics were held there, guys. That's where those events were held. So yeah, I mean, that's pretty cool. If you're a kayaker, bring your kayak, man, because you'll be able to say that you kayaked where the Olympics were held.
Yeah, I have 2 kayaks. I was definitely thinking about bringing them as long as we can stuff them in. And it's funny we mentioned Stacy Brown earlier, because he knows about this camp out, and I actually was going to hopefully carpool with him if he can line it up, because I get 5 people at my campsite, and I know you guys, you know, said pretty much, open borders. It's like Texas.
Yeah. So you've talked to Stacy about coming?
Yeah, like right away, right after I signed up and talked about it. He said if it lined up, and I also mentioned it to Donnie Miller too, because me, Tristan, and Cameron are in, and my mom's gonna let me use her SUV. So as long as I bring it back and with a full tank, it will all be good. But I'm gonna try to stuff in one of these people, and I keep bringing up Donnie Miller. I don't know if anybody, you guys know who he is. I know Flat Rock's in the chat. Flat Rock Booger's going to be there too. He asked me what site I'm at so he could be near me. I appreciate it. I hung out with Flat Rock at the Florida Bigfoot Conference too. Awesome guy, awesome channel, tons of Bigfoot activity right in his backyard. So he's bringing his vibrations. But yeah, Donnie Miller, you know, he's been on Sasquatch Chronicles and Bigfoot Odyssey, and I just went hiking with him about 3 days ago and checked out a cave and these nuke silos. So it was some crazy stories and just vibrations being shared. And that's what I try to do is I'm just the young grasshopper trying to learn from the best of the best. And that's why I'm listening to Igor Burtsev and Janice Carter and MK Davis and these legends.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I've heard that name before. Danny, what's his last name? Danny, the one you were just talking about.
Danny, I don't know. Igor.
No, the one that you said is
Donnie,
yeah, Donnie
Miller, yeah, Standing
Miller,
Ghost
yeah.
Rescue. My bad, Danny kind of threw me off. Donnie Miller, yes, Standing Ghost
Yeah.
Rescue, and he had a face-to-face encounter with a Bigfoot in Mariana. And right when I moved here, I researched all the Bigfoot encounters, and I heard his story of the Mariana caveman. It was like this 12-foot creature that was just swaying in front of him, and he's had more than 10 face-to-face encounters. He was having rocks thrown on him on his live yesterday. I heard some other guy got hit in the head by a rock yesterday. I don't know if it was like mid-South West Virginia. All of them, sound very similar. And I'm moving at 1,000,000 miles per hour, listening to 2 podcasts at once. So it blends a little together, but I soak it in,
Yeah, that's cool, man. I didn't know that you had talked to those guys about coming up to the camp. It'd be awesome if they could make it. Yeah, man, that would be great.
I'm definitely going to follow up with Stacy right after this. So I'll follow up with you right after that, because he's a cool guy. He's just another brother, man. He's a weirdo in this world that is looking at this thing like, oh my gosh, it's going sideways. So we're all on the same boat, just trying to stay afloat.
Yeah, man. How long of a drive is it going to be for you to get up here?
6 hours, but I have a couple stops. We're going to stop in the Kolomoki Mounds. Then we're going to stop at the Expedition Bigfoot Museum. Also some other Indian mound that's like 20 minutes of a detour. So we're going to stop there. We just really got to time it up so we can stop at the Bigfoot Museum while it's open. I know it's open pretty much every day, but I want to arrive at the camp as early as possible. And the mounds, like that would make the mounds have to see them at like 3 a.m., which I'm fine with. I've already seen them, in the daytime. So maybe a 3 a.m. Kolomoki mound trip might be the right thing. But I don't know. I'm super excited. But yeah, only 6 hours because I'm in North Florida. And it's pretty funny. Like Lakeland was 5.5 hours. So it's only 30 minutes longer than a trip I just made. And then we break it down pretty well and have so much fun on the trip that as long as the weather's not bad, I'll be all right.
That's what we're hoping. It won't be bad.
Do what, bud?
Said hopefully we'll have good weather this time. We didn't have it too well last time.
Yeah, last time it was miserable. It was so miserable that last trip. We would get some relief during the day, but at night it poured rain. Everything we had was wet. It was it was miserable. Yeah, I was gonna say something else. I was gonna ask you another question. I forgot. Oh, have you ever seen one in person?
Yes.
Do you think? Tell us about that. What happened?
Yeah, the first strange creature I ever saw was a dog man. It was the Wolfman of Sleepy Hollow, and I saw it with my 2 good friends about 2 months after they had their first encounter. And I heard all about it because it was a daytime encounter. It crossed the street right in front of them, and they saw a werewolf. And then I ended up sleeping over at Alex's house before a golf league on a Friday right before a Saturday league, and his house was decked out. We were down in the basement shooting pool, and there's this huge glass walkout basement, and he has tons of like a den of caves and cliffs down in his backyard. And we were playing for like, I don't know, 2 hours, just enjoying ourselves. And then Alex describes it as he hears rustling. I describe it as infrasound. I think he rattled us or shocked us in our chest and let us know, because for some reason we just had an awareness that something was up, and we turned off the lights and we're looking through this little window, and down in the den is this huge hulking figure, and it was the Wolfman. And I talked about it on Vic Cundiff's show, and he was like, "Do you think they were hoaxing you? Do they think they persuaded you?" Definitely not, because we were so afraid that night that we ended up sleeping up in Alex's room and then talking to his mom about it the next morning. And his mom was really by the book, and she said she heard man-like owl calls, like hoots, pretty much every night. So something was down in those caves pretty much all the time. I don't know if it was a lycanthrope, a rougarou, a Bigfoot. It was some kind of weird deity, and that just set us down the line.
How far away was this one that you saw? How far away were you?
About 40 yards, I'd say. So definitely a safe distance. But when we were going to bed, we were trying to go to bed, I was so scared, just curled up, that this thing was going to break through the glass. But clearly it didn't, and it could have way earlier. So I think it was honestly just curious because not much. These things are smart. They don't want a trail, you know. They don't want to ruin these kids, and then the forces are going to come through. Look what happened with Dennis Martin. Look what happened with Jared Adaro. You know, these things get wiped out after these young kids go missing. So I think they've been taught the history of how things go. But yeah, that was crazy. It was the Sleepy Hollow Wolfman, and that was before I ever heard the term Dogman in my whole life. And it's still strange, you know. It feels like a dream. In my first book, I had them write a testimony of like what happened, just to help me refresh, you know. And that was just really the first of many, because we got into strange things, you know, like doing mushrooms in the forest and talking to elves and fairies, and then, you know, doing rituals under blood moons and eclipses and going out on Friday the 13th and then Halloween. We were always stirring the pot, you know, going into abandoned homes. There's a place called Irma's house that you have to enter through the cellar, and she hung herself in the attic, and you have to climb all the way up. So we were always just getting into strange stuff. And then shadow creatures have always been near my house. And this one girl, she's a family friend named Kaylee. She was some kind of medium. During a school trip, she saw 40 ghosts. And then one of my friends in the boys' dorm got lured outside sleepwalking. And then another kid was sitting up like making mumbling noises. So I've been surrounded by paranormal activity, you know, influencing other people as well. And then, of course, just all the weird Sasquatch stuff that happened in the past 2 years of just throwing ourselves in the swamp.
Now, what kind of detail can you give us about the creature that you saw from 40 yards away? It was nighttime, correct?
Yeah, it was darker than the dark because we could see it pretty clearly. Alex says he saw glowing eyes. I honestly don't remember the eyes that well. I just remember the silhouette and being like, oh my God, it's real. Because I believed them, but there was still that little chance of like they're just messing with me collectively, because we're always messing with each other. But yeah, it was a big hulking figure. Kind of saw like the ears and not like a man. You know, it didn't give us like a man feel. It was more like a canine, like a big dog. And I don't think it was a Rottweiler or anything, because he was at least 5 foot to 9 feet tall. Alex describes him 5 foot to 6 feet, but I think he was down lower than us, and then he was still equal or above us. And,
so was he on 2 legs or 4?
He was on 2, but we couldn't really see the 4. I don't know where the front 2 were.
Wow. Now, have you seen a Bigfoot before?
Yes, multiple times.
Compare those two. What was similar and what was different?
The size was similar, the hulking, you know, shoulders, but the face nowhere near it. The vibe nowhere near it. You get like a human feeling from these Sasquatch creatures, and you just know when they're around. And yes, we knew when that one finally let us know and alerted us. But man, I think the Sasquatch just have the grid a little bit more. Like that, the Dogmen seem a little bit more animalistic, and I know there's lycanthropes that are men and then they turn into dogs, but I think this thing was always a canine creature. And but I think Bigfoot are men, so I think they can connect to our brains a little bit more. I think he hit us with infrasound kind of like a lion would have.
So there were some pretty noticeable differences in the two of them.
Oh yeah, and then I've seen a bunch of weird shadows out of the corner of my eyes. That's the thing with Sasquatches, is you really you can't even trust your own eyes. Tristan from Hidden Relief, he thought he saw one of these Sasquatches, and he described it right by where those pictures were taken, and his mind was trying to tell him that it didn't happen, because that's what we're shaped to believe through everything, that it's just a folk tale. And I'm neck deep in this crap, and I'm still trying to fight demons in my own head about battling this stuff, if some of this stuff is real. And you know, again, just turn on the TV. I think the dark forces are real, and I think a lot of these conspiracies are coming true. You know, there is something taking over this country, and of course the government is covering up Sasquatch, and I think there's a genocide going on with Sasquatch. They're being hunted down, and like I mentioned earlier, they're breeding these creatures of their own, and then they hunt down the free ones. There's no freedom on Earth that they can allow, so they have to tap into it all. I'm big on there are thousands of continents. I don't know if you guys ever listened to Admiral Byrd's diary, but he won the Medal of Honor. That's the highest award you can win in the military. Operation Paperclip talks about all the military bringing over the Germans, and then them starting NASA. And what were they doing in Antarctica? Why is Godzilla talking about Antarctica and Middle Earth and releasing Pensacola right now? All these movies have real connections to real life, like Clash of the Titans. It's right there. The Grinch, Shrek, Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. It's all right there. Even Yoda and Chewbacca are like deliberate, like fairies and Sasquatch, the Wookiee, of course. So our whole life has been told like, oh, it's fictional, but they've given it to us. So one day it's all going to be at the forefront. And the Bible talks about it, the Quran, the Indian Ramayana, all these ancient books and Sumerian tablets and cave paintings, they all talk about these giant beings and small beings and things that can twist time. And I think we are, the conductors of all of it. They think we're a viruses country in this world, but no, man. We are important. We're a catalyst. We keep everything together. We are here for a reason, or else we wouldn't exist. We have a soul. We have free will. We have a choice, and that is so powerful. The only thing that doesn't exist is coincidence. Energy has never been created nor destroyed, ever. It has just existed. So all three of us and everybody watching has always existed from the creation of time. And modern science and academia doesn't give us heaven, doesn't give us afterlife, doesn't give us many explanations for real world phenomena. So I'm not trying to prove this to any academia or anything. I'm just staying in my lane and just spreading my wings. And I'm not trying to preach to anybody. I'm just trying to open doors for people to research. And I'm also trying to lead people behind me, showing that, they got a loudmouth spear. Let's tap in, because I'm going right at this truth 100%.
Yeah, a lot of the things you just said made a lot of sense to me. I mean, a lot of these the so-called fictional movies, the ideas come from somewhere. I mean, were they all just the imagination of someone very creative, or is it something somebody's done somewhere, something somebody has seen or witnessed? What to what level? I don't know, because Star Wars was supposedly a dream, right? Was it Spielberg that did? Who did Star Wars? Was it Spielberg?
George Lucas.
George Lucas, that's right.
Spielberg, his best friend, but who are they? Answering orders to? They're just the little puppet masters, And
but wasn't Star Wars supposed to have been a dream that Lucas had? He dreamt something and then woke up and started writing it, and Star Wars was it came about. I don't know for sure because I've never seen Star Wars. I'm not a big sci-fi fan.
They also told us in The Social Network that Facebook was planned in a dorm room. Are we that stupid? No, they just rewrite these narratives, just so people fall into it. Man, I can't wait to see the movies in 5 years about how they think all this stuff started. It's crazy. But yeah, look at all the cartoons. Abominable, Smallfoot, Son of Bigfoot, Family Bigfoot, Missing Link. All 5 of those have so much truth in it, and they come in cartoon form of Sasquatch, so it's nice, cute, and cuddly, so no one takes it serious. But I watch it like it's the Bible, man. It's right there, and that's why I'm all into movies. I got 2,300 movies logged on my letterbox, rated and reviewed, and I pull strings from everywhere. So, again, people might think I'm crazy, but, I write more than they read, and I watch more than they even think. I don't know. I watch more movies than they're awake for. I barely sleep, and I wake up early, and I'm always trying to do something. I'm not bragging by no means. I'm a freaking bum. I live in a trailer and out of my car. But guess what? I got a heart and I got a soul, and I'm not going to stop ever until energy's never created nor destroyed. It never ends either. So yeah, it's never going to end.
That's impressive, man. And I was telling you, before we came on, because you had told us before, and I think I can say it because you're not bashful about it. You did live in your car for a while, and you drove around from state to state, writing your books and some of the stuff that you've experienced. And I was talking to you before we came on. I'm kind of envious of because my personal experiences myself. I became a father at a very young age, and I love all of my kids with all I have, but I've been tied to that responsibility my entire life. So I wasn't given that kind of opportunity. But looking back now, that's something that I would have loved to have been able to not have had that responsibility and to have been able to just go, and just write down my experiences. And I don't know, and I'm envious of you in that way. That's really cool because some people might hear, "Oh, he was homeless. Poor guy. I feel bad for him." I don't think that. I think you
It
did
was
all
by
right.
choice. It was by choice. Yeah, the house sold that I grew up in Ohio. I had a choice. Keep living with one of my buddies and keep living the same life, or try something new. And I moved down to Florida. I was couch surfing, staying with people that I just met on this one app called couch surfing. It's like Facebook for travelers. You make a profile and then you tell people why you want to request to stay with them. And one of the first people I stayed with were a punk rock musical, and we ended up I ended up getting hired as the stage manager, and then we got submitted into the Orlando Fringe Festival. So literally, as a dream come true, I was working for a production, living with some metaphysical people. So I got thrown into the Florida culture, and then I ended up moving west to the Panhandle to be a little closer to my mom after she moved from Indiana. So it was literally just like a convergence of everything. And then we lived on the road for a whole summer from Florida to California, stopping in New Mexico, looking at petroglyphs, taking out the boogeyman out in Texas, of course, the Grand Canyon in Arizona, and then we stayed right in Santa Monica, right near where the Manson family was working their magic at as well. So I'm all into the lore across America. And then, I'm from Ireland, and my aunt saw a banshee 80 years ago in front of her neighbor's home before her neighbor died. And of course, she was called a loon and a crazy for all her life. So it's like in my blood that I have to stand up for that. And all these lazy people that say there's no evidence or no stories, like, what? There's Native American tribes that have been talking about this. The Irish talk about the little people, the leprechauns, the giant's causeway. Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
there are so many mysteries that people just shrug their shoulders to. But guys, that empowers me. Anything that a human could do, that's my brother, that's my sister. I did it too then. We have to look at it like that. If there's all these other deities and even other people out there that are beyond the ice wall and deep in caves and just a little bit different chemically made up than us, then we are all brothers and sisters compared to them. We have to stop dividing, skin color, gender, and all of that stuff. Like, we all bleed red crystals, and that's powerful. The moment we die, your third eye, your pineal gland, leaks dimethyltryptamine, the same chemical that allows you to dream. So I'm very, very positive about the next chapter. It's not all darkness, but I'm in no rush to it either, because you have to tap into all the air tanks that you can.
Yeah. Here's something I want to touch on before. I don't want to let you get out of here without talking about your books. Now, you got this. You were on the cover of what, the Brunswick Post. Is this a newspaper?
Yes, my local newspaper. Pretty funny, because I was a sports reporter when I left high school, and I actually tried getting a job with them. And they wanted me to freelance. It just wasn't going to work out. But which, now I look back, I'm like, oh, I should have. But everything happens for a reason. But yeah, the front page, and this was just a few days ago. And again, I get so much harassment every single day that I'm pretty hardened to it. But things like this make my journey worth it, because this is pretty official notoriety. And sadly, it's surrounded by crap in every corner, terrible headlines about the world right now. But I cherish that. Of course, it's right by Jason Voorhees, and those are some murals that are 15 minutes from my house. They're truly magical, and I've done a couple videos there as well.
Now, tell us about your books, the ones that you have written. What are the titles of them? Where can we get them?
They are available on Amazon and also in person. I sell them at my comic book store and also just out of my car. But my first one is Eerie Swamps Road Trip to Eden. This talks about my journey from Lake Erie down to the Florida swamps. And then the last chapter is in the Garden of Eden, what I described before. And it's pretty wild because my aunt lived in Panama City growing up. So I've done that road trip many times from Cleveland down to Panama City. And then I ended up living the road trip and, staying at rest stops and 24-hour grocery stores and sleeping in, dead end streets. So for some reason, it was already paved the way. I really consider this like my diary because this really just documents my journey. But then my next one is Big Brother Bigfoot. This is definitely my research project. This goes from Ohio down to Florida, up into Canada, across from Arizona, New Mexico, California, the Big Bear Lakes. I don't think Big Bear Lake was named after big bears in California. There are so many monster sightings over there. And when I went four-wheeling, me and my sister were like chased by something. So no big bears. They're not big bears. And people, literally a girl got kidnapped or nabbed by something and then was taken care of in the forest for days and fed. And then they still call it a bear. So, but I love old bears then, that's representation. But gosh, this misinformation that's being spread is so crazy. But
Yeah.
Bigfoot is all about the bridge from us to our big brother, Bigfoot, and everything in between. Because there are still feral people living in the Tennessee mountains and the Florida swamp that still are disconnected from today's society. There's TV shows about it. There's movies about it, like Wrong Turn. It's to the forefront now, and they try to sweeten it up with Hollywood, but no, there are tribes that live out there, and this is all about the connection. And yes, there is Mothman and the creature from Black Lagoon and Swamp Thing and other strange beings. Anybody heard of the Kandahar Giant? And then just the mound builders. I want everybody, if you got SoundCloud, look up Bigfoot Anonymous. I have more than double-digit hours narrating newspaper articles about Bigfoot encounters and giant bone excavations. There have been thousands of newspaper articles written about giant bones being found across America and across the world. And they all have corresponding facts that none of them, corresponded with each other. They all are sitting position, covered in copper, covered in gold, facing the east because they're sun worshipers. I grew up in Ohio, guys. More than 10,000 mounds in Ohio. And then Moundsville in West Virginia, it's in the first book, right across from the Adena Mound. They had 12-foot skeletons coming out of there. So again, everybody demanding that we need a body and we need DNA. It's already been done. Sorry you haven't went that far on the internet. You just Google things. Google only gives you like 2% of millions of percent. We have to start thinking wiser. Speak to people. Get links yourself. And man, I'm all about just the strange stuff bridging to us. It's the bridge to the creator. Church is cool for some people, but this is my church because this is what the Leviathans, the behemoths, the mud fossils, St. Christopher carried baby Jesus across a freezing, raging river. There's been signs of him being a dog man or just a giant. Jack and the Beanstalk, Castle in the Sky, there's lands in the sky and there's lands underwater. Atlantis and the Great Lakes, they found monuments in there. Lake Seminole here in Florida, they have Mayan ruins. Again, people are so closed off and just stuck. And I hate to keep those people. I'm not speaking to everybody. I'm just speaking to people that put others down and try to shallow their world. This world is bigger than anybody's mind could ever think. So people are like, there's no room for them. Oh, Skunk Ape would be stuck in Florida. Wake up, bro. Oh my gosh. The Skunk Ape will take the railroad to California and be in San Francisco in 4 days. You can't underestimate these creatures. And then let alone the stories that kids walk into a cave in Pennsylvania and then come out in Vegas, the tunnels. So, Coraline is not just a book and a movie. It's real.
There's so much of the United States that isn't inhabited, that's wooded. And like the state of Georgia alone, I think, I can't remember exactly, it's like in the high 60% of the state of Georgia is wooded. I mean, nobody lives there. So why can't these creatures be out there? Tennessee is something like 40-something, 50-something percent. What, buddy?
That would be like down there close of Florida and Georgia line that you got the Okie Dokie Swamp. that has a fire usually every year because people could camp out there. But other than that, you can't really. You have to be something as an animal, crocodile, alligator, whatever, to be down in there. Swamp ape can live in there, easy. I mean, there's people on the main road, but that's as far as they go.
Yeah, that's true. There's all kind of people. You can squash all the arguments. We would have found one by now. If they don't want to be found, then no, we wouldn't have found it by now. And there's these other species of animals that were thought to be legend up until recently. You know, I don't know. We're getting off topic.
You might as well think of it as the dinosaurs. A lot of people think there wasn't no dinosaurs back then, but really, there's bones now finding it. We're finding them in crates. They're finding whales in the desert. You know, they used to be underwater.
Yep. The Eye of Atlantis has been spotted by Mud Fossil University in the middle of the desert. So, yeah, of course, this world definitely had a lot more water than they say. And that was the Great Flood, of course, when they were trying to build the Tower of Babel out of this world to reach heaven, to like Jack and the Beanstalk, guys. And then God rained down from the firmament and flooded this earth, turned them all to stone. I don't want to get preachy with people, but that's how it went. And that's what all the stories say. And it's very special that the mountains we climb used to be alive. I encourage everybody to look up mud fossils. They are crazy.
We got a question for you there from BF Bud. I guess Bigfoot Bud, maybe. Did Connor ever have a sighting in Ohio? If so, where at?
Oh, yeah, man. I've had tons of encounters and sightings in Ohio. Cleveland and Brunswick. And also in Bellsville over by the river right across from Moundsville. But the one I described earlier, the Sleepy Hollow one, that's in Brunswick. And then also one time I was supposed to meet this girl and she was sleeping over and my mom was home. So I was having her park at this side road and she was super late. And I was calling her and starting a fuss. And I was trying to get her to park so I could walk her and sneak her back in. And something charged me from the woods. And I ran so hard and I ran into my neighbor's garden stake. And it broke my collarbone and pierced through my face. So it didn't cause, it didn't deliberately cause that. But things have happened. I'm scarred up from my battles with these things. Another time, I was doing LSD with one of my friends during a blood moon eclipse, and some people would throw that totally to the trash. But guess what, guys? They look at us as with vibrations and heat and thermal, like the Predator. And that Lucy Leaf, it expands electricity in your brain. And that's exactly what the Native Americans were doing and the ancient Africans, and also just the burning bush in the Bible. Like this is real stuff, guys, and it opens you up to different perspectives. But guess what? They can see you, and it's like a vibrational magnet. So they come and check you out. And we've had some strange encounters, camping and just hanging out under full moons and blood moon eclipses while on psychedelics. But yes, down in southern Ohio, I had an encounter with this thing that we called the bear cat. It jumped out of the tree on me, Jake, my black lab, and my grandparents' 2 blue healers. And it was as big as my black lab. I don't know if it was like this mangy panther or something, but we always call it the bear cat. It wasn't a bear, and it wasn't a bear cat. If you Google a bear cat, it's like a werebear. It was some kind of weird mangy creature. And we ran up the hill, and my dogs were making really weird noises. But no one was injured. They weren't injured. I was really scared for them. But it was a wild story. And my grandparents have trapped like bobcats and seen panthers on the land. So we definitely know big cats are out there. But when you're a young kid and the thing's bigger than you, it's extraordinary.
Yeah. Man, we're going to have you back. I feel like there's so much that we didn't even get to because we didn't even talk about hardly any of your sightings, and I'd like to get to them. So if you're open to it, man, I'd love to have you back. We're about an hour and 15 minutes in now, so we're gonna have to get out of here.
Wrap it up around the fire for both nights, and hopefully we can do some live episodes and talks too. And if you guys fit in any segment, I know you guys are all doing like presentations and stuff, not to butt in or anything, but I'm open to anything too. I would love to talk to the group even for 5 minutes. With my knowledge and stories, but I'm definitely going to be attending as many expeditions through the weekend with everybody. I'm big on Cowboy Joe, man. I hope he's all right. Flat Rock Booger, I'm really looking forward to chopping up with him. And then hearing that you guys were on Gypsy Road, it was really cool. It was like everything is connected. And because Eric and Dr. Wu are really good friends of mine, and I'm the co-host of Eric's horror talk show. So literally, it's like we're all family. And the fact that, we're going on a camp out together is going to be super cool. And guys, we're going to be outside, social distance if you feel that necessary. No one's going to be slobbering over all each other. Everybody feels safe about it. Breathe in the air. Do not let the news fearmonger you. Because out here, I've been enjoying the outdoors, and that's how everybody should live. And I hope everybody in this country can wake up before it's too late. Are we going to let people starve on the side? No, we need to barter. We need to help each other, even if we're divided, even if we're different now. We have to come together. But man, I definitely appreciate it, guys. And of course, I'll be back. I'm looking forward to it, man. If we could squeeze it in before the Tennessee trip, then heck yeah. If not, then we'll definitely chop it up there and many times after. But I'm looking forward to it. The expedition is going to be sweet. The expedition museum is going to be sweet because I actually drove past there on a road trip many years ago, and no one stopped because we were low on money and time, and that ate me up for a very long time. So this is a big weight off my shoulders finally too, and I get to take my buddies to Kolomoki Mounds. It's going to be really cool. And then Ultima Haha, the Georgia sea creature, he's been spotted in that body of water too. So guys, we got to watch out for the forest and the water. And I'm hoping to have my magnet fishing kit ready by then too. So we're going to be pulling some crazy treasure out of there. And I've had some crazy, extraordinary discoveries recently with some arrowheads. So I'm really trying to find the treasure, and I know there's gold in those mountains. So let's try to find a little mine shaft or something. Let's hope Janice Carter brings her vibes, and I just can't wait, man. I'm really looking forward to seeing everybody and meeting everybody. I'm gonna bring a big stack of my books. Again, that like everybody says, we're not trying to make money. We're just trying to pay for gas and trying to eat. I'm gonna be selling my books for $10. That's not much, All these professional bigwig guys, they're selling their Bigfoot books for $27 online. Mine has twice the content, twice the heart, and just me, man. And I'm not bashing them, but I'm me, and I'm me with my sleeve. I'm this loud even on the paper, but when I'm in the forest, I'm how I need to be as well. People think, oh, this guy's gonna scare away the big. Nope, I'm bringing the vibrations. I'm keeping my mouth shut. The camera's rolling. We're recording. We're trying to capture these owl hoots and baby cries and other mimics. But yes, I'll try to point out whatever I know and see, because there is forest language and a lot going on that people aren't in tune with, because these creatures have been laying sign forever, just like soldiers have as well. But again, guys, appreciate it so much. If anybody wants to check out my journeys and expeditions, Bigfoot Anon on YouTube, Bigfoot Anonymous on TikTok and Instagram, email me at panhandlepecans@gmail.com. And if you guys have any cool stories.
You also do a show with the Gypsy Road guys, right? Give that a plug.
Every Tuesday and Thursday, horror talk. And definitely just subscribe to Gypsy Road. But if you Google or YouTube Gypsy Road Horror Talk, his other channel will pop up, and that's where I'm a co-host. And it's really cool because we did an episode on Jeepers Creepers. I said, I'm going to this filming location. I promise. And then I fulfilled that. And that means something. And sometimes things happen that you can't do what you say, but live up to what you say, guys. Everybody, there's power in that. There's power in walking your walk. All your needs will be met in abundance. Yeah, I was homeless. I'm a hobo, a home body. That means I'm home here, guys. I'm home inside here. So no one can tell me I'm trespassing. The police officer told me one time, I said, yes, sir. That's not trespassing, But no, you're free, man. And no one's going to tell me how to live or, live my body and my health. We need to just unite, get some moonlight, get some sunlight, go on a hike. Like, if you're still eating fast food and you're telling people how to live, come on, man. We have to live right. And there are wrong ways, and we're all hypocrites and addicted to Xbox and Wi-Fi, but we just have to break free. And every day is that battle. And that's what I'm trying to represent. And yep, 100%. I'll catch you on Warzone after this. I'm a big Halo guy too, guys. I love it, man. Oh yeah, wait 1 second. I'm a survivor though. I haven't played Warzone in a few months, but I'm in the top 0.3% in the world of Warzone players of time alive, like my average life. And so that doesn't show I'm out here, man. The apocalypse, hit me up, hit me up. That also means I'm a camper, but it doesn't, it's also a good thing for Bigfoot. I'm camped, man. Perch me in a seat for 6 hours. I'll be all right, man. It'll be cool. But I also like being the pusher too, because
all that energy.
Yeah, I got to push it somewhere, I appreciate it, guys. I'm looking forward to the Squatch Out. Thank you guys for coordinating it and putting it on. And I hope to be a strong pillar like you guys are. And definitely keep up the great work. Hit up, Steve Isdall, David Politis, Scott Carpenter, Dixie Cryptid, Sawdust Beast, Mogia Monster, Central Florida Bigfoot. A lot of those people are my homies. A lot of those people are good voices with good stories. And I just hope everybody gets some good information. But thanks again, guys. I've already said that freaking 8 times, but I love it. I love it. It's power, it's passion, and energy is never created nor destroyed. We've always existed. We're created in the Creator's image. There's a soul inside us. They're trying to get that. They're trying to get that, man. But it can't be calculated. Don't let them. Connor,
we appreciate it, buddy.
See you guys.
Try to calm down and get some sleep, man.
Yeah. It's only 9:36. I'm about to go on an expedition. I got some chapters to read, but take it easy, guys. And
thanks again, buddy. I'm sure we'll talk before the expedition. I know, but looking forward to getting to meet you in person, and holler at Stacy for me. See if you can't set that up for me. I'd appreciate it, man.
I will. I'm going to text him right now and tell him that he was a nice chapter of our interview. And yes, guys, everybody check out the Stacy Brown footage. Rest in peace, Stacy Brown Sr. He was the one that recorded it with his son, and everything happens for a reason. He's in a better place. Heaven is real, and it is above us. The firmament rains down. Thunder is when lightning hits the dome and shakes. And people might think I'm wacko, but just Google the earth the Bible describes. It's not a pancake. It's the shield. We are the center of the universe, guys. We are not an accident. Take it easy, guys. Peace.
Have a good one, bud. We'll see you. Wow, if I had that much energy. Interesting guy. He really is. Gonna be fun. Gonna be fun at the Squatch Out.
Yeah.
He brings some more of that. There's gonna be all kind of energy running around out there.
That'll be good.
Good show. And thank everybody for hanging out with us for the last hour 25 minutes. We appreciate it, guys. And I did throw up there for a second a message or a little comment from Daryl Owen. He had a good idea. He wants everyone, and obviously we can't reach everybody right now because not everybody's watching this show. But if you're going to the Squatch Out, send us an email. Send an email to Mannimal Research at yahoo.com and let us know. That way we can start trying to get a count of who all is going to be there. Just give us an idea. So, yeah, if you guys don't mind doing that would help us out. All right, but I know you got to get in bed. You got to be up in just a few hours. Say your goodbyes.
We'll see you guys. Hope you be safe. Almost Friday. We got another week to go.
All right, guys. Y'all take care of each other. Be good to each other. And just do the right thing. If everybody does the right thing, everything else take care of itself. So, see you later, guys. Y'all be good.